Hi everyone, this is my Module 5 Continuous Improvement or My Story. The inspirational tweet I found was by Dr. Brad Johnson. He says, "Be careful not to focus too much on your weaknesses. It is your strengths that allow you to be exponentially more successful. And those without your best interest will almost exclusively try to keep you focused on your weaknesses." I found this important when I was looking at my CALPA data compared to my building, district, and then the state level information, but I also think it's important because it's a message that we instill even in the students, so it's important to be reminded of that as teachers. So again, I pulled the CALPA data from the KSDE Kansas report card, and the information that was measured was from 2018 and 2019, and it is scored by the following: non-proficient, nearly proficient, and proficient. I'm going to focus on the building information first. I found that it was positive to see such a high proficiency level in 2018, scoring at 27.63%, which was higher than any other category that you see. However, then 1 year later, that score dropped by almost 10%, and that margin of error or gap for the nearly proficient then increased. So I wonder if some of this student gap from the previous year ended up flowing over into this. It was also interesting to see where we are now from the building as compared to the district and then the state level. And I would say that our building is considered higher. However, whenever looked at the district, we are probably in the middle. The not proficient, it was encouraging to see that this was measured so under 10%. However, this gap did rise a little bit, but we can assume that is still under the 8.59% because the orange is still smaller. So being in a bigger district, we have 8 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 2 high schools. So I went ahead and found the mission statement for all Salina elementary public schools and kind of aligned this to where we want to be, keeping in mind the CALPA scoring. So our school will continue to work towards shifting that level of proficiency higher to decline the other percentages in the near proficient and not proficient scores being shown. The mission statement of Salina matches this vision when it says that it wants to ensure that students are learning the skills necessary to participate successfully in the communities which they live. In having a dual language community or so much bilingualness happening, I think that it's important to want these students to do well on the CALPA because that is showing kind of if we are matching this vision. So how do we get to where we are now? Well, I went ahead and looked at more of what the CALPA proficiency said it was measuring. So through the testing in the fall as well as the spring, students in the elementary school are taking the CALPA, which is made up of 4 different domains, and fall upon the scoring system: not proficient, near proficiency, or reaching proficiency. The CALPA is interesting because it's a test that is taken if the student is needing or meets those requirements. So it is reported into 3 different levels. The level 3 indicates that they are performing and producing grade level academics in the ELA language, or in the English language, I'm sorry, as well as it's an annual assessment, and so you're either scoring a level 4 or level 5 on those domains. And then it goes into the level 2 and level 1. So how are we going to get to where we want to be? Well, I thought it was important to say that through repetitive practice and collaboration with working with the ESL teacher as well as the homeroom teacher, you need to find the gaps in knowledge and target through instruction. The extra practice in those 4 different domains, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing, as well as practicing test runs before the testing window opens to prepare students as well as parents and homeroom teachers, and get this on the testing calendar. So is what we're doing making a difference? Absolutely. When looking at the measurable data near proficiency, Sunset, the school I teach in that was on that data, was able to grow the category scored nearly proficient while the proficiency scored lower. Sunset compared to the state is still scoring higher when looking at the proficiency scale, and I thought it would be interesting to see the techniques across the district as there are so many ESOL teachers and dive further into this data. Here is the references from the website that I used, as well as our mascot for Sunset Elementary. Thanks for listening.